You about to kill the wine already.
Facts. It's been a long week.
I feel that though. Okay.
Okay.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl Shawna Weird checking in.
What's up, guys? It's Darian Boyd, Sir D Boyd for some, Darian for most.
Ooh.
Welcome to She's So Weird podcast.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, guys? I'm happy to be in the studio. We actually have our first in-studio guest. Shout out to 2021, doing new things.
Yes.
We have our my best friend, my cousin, and also colleague, Davron Boyd.
Welcome.
What's up, y'all? Happy to be here. I really appreciate being the first guest. I feel really special.
Nigga, you ain't never hit us with the happy to be here. This motherfucker sat his whole backup.
I did. I had this planned out all day. I was working on it. It was gonna be my
You
own.
was rehearsing.
Yeah, I was.
How you was gonna go from lax to to engaged?
I'm happy to be here.
Oh man, we glad to have you, Shawna. Dav, want to take a toast?
To the first show in the studio.
Yep. First in studio show. Yeah. So, bro, thank you for coming on again. So as I mentioned, this is it's my cousin, but he's also man. You got your hand in a lot of different pots, bro. Can you kind of like let people know what you got going on?
Yeah. I'm actually working on a book right now. Well, first off, I'm a poet, mental health advocate. Poetry is like my get away from life thing. Actually working on 2 books right now. Working on my first book that hopefully will be out in November 2021. Praying on it, called A Cry for Help, Poems Written in a Deep Depression. So looking forward to doing that. Pretty much almost done with it. Got a bunch of things I got the plan to do with that. And I got a follow-up book with a friend of mine. It's like kind of like a secret right now. But it's going to be dope. So that's what I'm doing. I do marketing. I do freelance PR, all of that random stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of like let people know what kind of some of the stuff you've done in the past. I mean, like you've had rapfiend.com. You've done work with like Swank, right? Like what are some of the things you've done in the past, like in the media space?
So media-wise, I first started off with a blog called thefreshfuture.com.
Shout out to the Fresh Future.
I did that. That was my first intro into blogging. I did that for about 2 or 3 years. Mildly successful. Gained a lot of contacts. Met a lot of people. From there, I started my own website, Rap Fiend Music, when I was in college. Did that for a while. Met a lot of people. I went on to I interned for Def Jam a little bit. Shout out to Doe. Interned for Def Jam for a little bit. Also interned, then ended up working for Swank PR. Shout out Bree. So I've been doing both those. Did both those, and yeah, I just been kind of all over the place with everything. So yeah.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have you on. Shawna, do you want to kind of let everybody know? I mean, this is going to be some people's first time kind of actually seeing us visually. So do you want to let them know kind of like what She's So Weird is about and why having somebody, an advocate like Davron on is, related and important?
Well, She's So Weird. It originally started as just a music appreciation blog. And then in 2016, like I went through my own bouts with depression and anxiety. And I just, was trying to find people who could help me through this, who could, help me figure out mental health because it's something that's shied away from that people don't talk about. And as I was going through my own journey with it, I just realized people didn't talk about it. And so that's what shifted the focus of She's So Weird from music to mental health because I just want to normalize the conversation on mental health and let people know it's okay to not be okay sometimes and that you can talk about it and you don't have to act strong and almighty and everything. So, yeah, that's what She's So Weird is about. I have my partner in rhyme, Darian. He helps me with testimonials where we interview people about mental health, coping mechanisms, healthy and unhealthy, and just starting that conversation. So Dav, I'm happy you came today. Thank you so much.
I appreciate y'all, man. I'm bursting with joy.
Yeah. No, I just wanted you to do that. You know what I'm saying? With this just being our first episode, we got a lot of different eyes. You know, so I want people to really know what all this is about and like how everything relates. So, Shawna, thank you for. That was good. You spit that off well. I was like, it's dope to kind of hear it because I understanding how this journey started. Yeah. It's like it's always dope to hear you like tell people like the origin and like how it came to be. So yeah, I'm proud to be with you. So weird, man. It's we're a dope product. Yeah. So I'm excited for what's to come in the year going forward. But enough about us for a little bit. So Dav, tell us what's the Semicolon Series.
So Semicolon the series was started off just as like an Instagram page. Where we talked about mental health. I'm big on pushing mental health in the Black community. So I started that. I just interviewed people. I basically use it just to give people tips, let them know that they're not the only people out there, especially Black brothers. So I just been doing that just to like help people out. And you know, the whole thing, for a lot of people don't know the story behind the Semicolon. It's basically bringing awareness to suicide and people that have dealt with suicide before. So you know, dealing with it myself, I believe big on it. So I feel like the Semicolon was the right way to go with it. So yeah, that's how I just started, just like linking up with people, same issues, same things, because it kind of gets overlooked in our community pretty much. So I just had to let the people know that like they're not the only ones. So yeah.
Dope. Yeah. And that you can find like Semicolon Series on Instagram, correct?
Yeah. You can find it on my Instagram. Is my Instagram, personal Instagram, DAV_773. Semicolon the series. You can find that on my page or just type in Semicolon the series. But yeah.
I want to not to cut you off, but I want to shout out specifically a Semicolon Series interview you did with Matt Muse over the summer that I thought was really dope. Cool. Yeah, shout out Matt Muse. I mean, you guys talked about kind of like you guys' ideals of love and marriage and stuff like that, and like how like what can precede you can shape that perception and stuff like that. So it was a lot of dope conversations.
So. That one was dope. I didn't expect. I'll be honest. He's probably gonna see this. I didn't expect it to be that good.
You see what he's saying about you, man?
That's my brother. Though. I didn't know how that was gonna go because we had like no prep for it. So I was just like,
that's dope though.
Yeah, but one of the biggest things that like we were talking about, like when you said love and relationships, the craziest thing that he like brought to me, and I started paying attention more, is how much stuff is romanticized in Hollywood, even in like Disney movies. And how like every Disney movie has like a love plot to it. And over the summer, I rewatched I watched for the first time all the Avenger movies, and I was like, dang, every single movie has
got some type of element of a love story. I never
thought about it. It was like, this is why it's like forced on the community. People think like, this is why you have to do this. This is why you have to do
or if you're not experiencing it, then you're without. Facts. Like you lacking.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nigga, these niggas trying to save the world, and they still got time to love. Like, what are you doing?
I was like, man, and I never realized. So now, like, every movie I try to watch, I try to see if it's like a love thing in there.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Like, you never think about, like, every time it's like, okay, this person is in love with this person, or it's like some deep love story some way, somehow. Yeah.
Well, now I do that with I look at movies and it's gonna kill me, and I'm gonna have to literally look it up before this episode is over. But it's Star Wars is based on it, but it's based on this book called The Man with 1,000 Faces or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. But it's basically like the premise that like in every like major story, like man has like this like complex with like father figure, like, and it could even be like mentorship or whatever, and like they have to overcome that to like reach spiritual. It's deep. I'll look it up.
It sounds deep.
Yeah. I learned it in my mythology class in college. But yeah, but cool. No, I just wanted to shout that out because I felt like it was you come across stuff on IG and you like I tapped into that. I'm like, man, these niggas is having engaging dialogue and discourse.
Man, we did because I don't think me and him ever like had that talk before about like how we were like down in the dumps before. Like I don't think like especially with me, when I told a lot of people about my story, they be like, "Yo, I never knew." So like seeing him, and I'm just like, "Bro, I never knew that you were going through that." And we used to talk like every day. He was like, "I didn't know you were going through that."
Yeah.
So that's why I was like big to have him on there, because like if you see two black brothers, I feel like that's kind of empowering, just to see two black guys talk it out about like mental health and love, and
Absolutely.
it's kind of dope. Yeah.
Hmm.
Shout out my boy Matt Muse.
Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter and Instagram, Matt Muse 12.
Look at that. We doing plug for Maz that's not even here. I want to shout out real quick. We got a bottle. Right now we sipping on some red, but we got a bottle of Buble from my homegirl Sierra Jabri. So shout out her. We got that on deck. We probably gonna pop that. I can't wait
to sip it.
Yeah, we're gonna pop that after we sip on this red.
Bubbly.
Cool. Well, Shawna, what were we planning on talking about today? What one of the things we were gonna go into?
Well, today, one of the topics that I wanted to address was holiday grief. I've experienced a couple of my own over the holidays. On Christmas, I lost my aunt, and on New Year's Day, I lost my grandma.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so like it's been tough to like process and everything, but yeah, a lot of people don't really know because I didn't tell them, so I kind of just been like silently dealing with it.
Right.
But yeah, it's been tough.
Yeah, no, that's super unfortunate. I just thought it would be something important to talk about, because not only like, I mean, like, unfortunately, like in this circumstance, like you're losing people like around the holidays, but there's also like this thing when people are losing people, and it may not have happened in the holiday season, but when that holiday season like come around, it's like, oh, like you just get to thinking about that person and how this holiday doesn't seem right without this one. I know for us, like we lost our grandma in 2013, like on December 23rd. So like turning up until like Christmas Eve, like we getting the news, and that's where we went like every Christmas. It was like my grandma's. So now it's weird because, you know, like our aunt like stays in the same building as her, and like sometimes she wants to come over for like Christmas. And I know, I can't speak for you, but I know for me personally, like it just don't hit the same, bro.
Ever since our grandma died, like our holidays have not been the same at all. Like it's been so awkward because like we got like inter-family feuds just like from our grandma dying, and like it sucked, bro. Like 2 days before Christmas, literally the 23rd of December 2013, like just barely waking up and got the call that she had passed. And it's just like every Christmas, like especially I think this past Christmas was probably like one of the hardest Christmases like I ever like probably dealt with, because it like truly sucked. Like it was like I was with y'all and everything, but like it just didn't feel like Christmas. Like just like the holidays without grandma, for one, is just like it's not as enjoyable as it was when we was kids. Like when we was growing up, it's like a part of life now. Like she's no longer here, we're not gonna see her anymore, we can't do the things that we used to, and it's just hard to still like internalize. And I actually went to her grave like I think it was like 2 years ago on the day that she died, and like I just lost it. Like it was like bad. Like I hadn't cried that hard. I didn't even think I cried that hard when she died. Like holidays, like grieving in the holidays is just like a whole different monster within itself, tough. Man. Like it's super tough. Yeah, but you know, she looking down on us. Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
No, I mean rest in peace to all of our loved ones collectively. You know that weren't around for these holidays. I mean, my only advice to people is to, you know, cherish it with, you know, those that are still, you know, with you, and you know take some type of take something from like, you know, like, yeah, like it's not the same, but there's
They're not
evolution.
hurting anymore.
Right.
That's how I've been trying to process and think about it. Like they're not suffering anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the stages of grief.
Yeah.
You have to go through it. So.
And they don't always look the same. Like they may start out looking one way, and then it might like this nigga crying at the grave. I'm not laughing. I'm only laughing because me and you have held each other crying about this woman. So like, yeah, but like they just don't like they're not gonna look the same like at each stage, you know. And you were closer with grandma than like I was, like so I can understand it hitting you differently.
I was
You ain't gotta say you're her favorite, nigga. We'll burn this part of the of the pod.
No, you can ask anybody.
No. I agree.
Yeah, I was the favorite.
I agree. Well, yeah. So
I'm a top 3 family member too.
That's up for debate. That's up for debate. But yeah. Like they're gonna look different, and it's also like you said, like you made an important statement. It's like, you know, they're no longer suffering, and also like. Just because it doesn't feel the same anymore does not mean it's better or worse. You know, sometimes like things evolve, like relationships evolve, how we exist around our families evolve. You know, like like it doesn't feel the same if I go like in that building. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I enjoy it all the same now how I do, because now, you know, like now me and him like get intoxicated, and you know, like it's a different kind of vibe. So it's like it's all about looking at it as evolution. It's still lost. It's definitely still lost, but it's an evolution. You know?
I feel like honestly, like the biggest thing that like death has taught me, so cliche, is just like cherish the people that's alive around you. Like I just feel like if it like I can lean on him at like any point in time in my life. I can call him just like to talk about like anything, and it just makes me appreciate like just like the simple shit in life, like things that you would take for granted. Like now you like even more, you be like, damn, like I gotta take this shit so precious. Like
because people are here today and gone tomorrow, especially now.
As bleak it is,
especially now.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I thank God for you, bro. This is not to get my sentimental bag. Thank God for you.
Well, this is She's So Weird podcast. So it is a sad fest. So I'm not gonna discourage you. You know, putting you feeling. You got a heart on your shirt, so you know.
I love big.
We wanted to talk about, since we still kind of close to 2020. Like we only in February. It's still Aquarius season. Shout out to all of shout out to my strong brothers and sisters.
Shout out to the Aquarius.
So we still kind of like fresh off a wild ass year, which is why we wanted to talk about holiday grief as well. But I wanted to go around and ask everybody like, what are some of the things that stood out for them in terms of emotional breakthrough in the last year, right? So like, for instance, I know for me, I started doing therapy regularly, and I had a lot of breakthroughs in terms of just kind of learning how to be better with coping with like inadequacies and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like I have a terrible habit of like, if I make like mistakes that I feel like are common sense plays and stuff, like I'm immediately like on my ass calling myself stupid and like, you know, like, and or just like even like thinking about like things I've done in the past where I felt like they were like so detrimental to like where I am today, right? So for instance, like I want to shout out my homegirl Queen K, Kia Smith. Shout out to her love letter challenge book.
Yeah.
So one of the early things that she has in there is what is something that like how do you treat yourself when you make mistakes? And then like after it was, what is something that you still have trouble forgiving yourself for, right? So I wrote in there that like I still have trouble forgiving myself like flunking out of college my first year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like I often think about how it's consequential in terms of like, man, if you would have did this a certain way, then you would have been putting yourself in a position to do da 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 da. You know, it's a lot of hindsight. But I thank therapy for like helping me, along with a lot of other things and a lot of bad habits and stuff, helping me just be better to myself in terms of like how I treat myself about mistakes and stuff like that. So that's just one thing that stands out for me.
Yeah, humans have a tendency to get down on themselves more than most people would to them.
Did you say humans?
Yeah.
Did you say humans have a tendency to
get down? Like I'm just saying, people have a tendency
Negative
to get down on
self-talk.
themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said more than most people. I'm like,
I mean,
we
talking.
talking
I'm
like.
sorry. Okay. You know what I meant.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
No,
I just want to understand your point.
No, people just like as humans. There we go.
Yeah,
As
okay,
humans,
gotcha,
we
gotcha,
tend
gotcha.
to get so down on ourselves, even though when we're doing great, like the simplest mistakes, you just shit on yourself for like the whole thing. Like, yo, I could have did this, could have did that. But honestly, the mistakes make you a better person. Also, they make you learn so much more about yourself. It was a path that like you was gonna have to go on either way. Like it was that mistake was meant to happen for your life. Like,
1,000%.
True.
So it
1,000%.
just,
Grew
like,
me up. Grew
Yeah.
me up instantly.
it's like it's just like a wake up call or like anything. But like those mistakes are like vital to your life because like with me, like this is like for school too, like my first 2 years of college, like I often wish that like I did better. I wish I went to a big school, but like in hindsight, it's kind of like I probably would have been terrible at a big school. Like I would have probably dropped out freshman year, like because I wanted to go to LSU really bad, and there's no way in hell I would have graduated from LSU. Like to be super honest, but it's just like I can't get down on myself when I know this is the plan that's leading to something bigger, regardless.
What about you? What are some things that stand out for you from 2020, like emotionally breakthrough wise? I said that sloppily, but you know.
Emotional breakthroughs. I mean, I kind of had a moment. 2020 was a year.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like at the end of 2019, like I think. Yeah, in like October or September sometime, I started going to therapy. I went to a psychiatrist and a therapist, which are like two uniquely different experiences. My psychiatrist was like, she was cool. She suggested therapy to me. So long story short, I ended up getting on medication for depression. So for like depression and anxiety. So 29, like it feels like it's a weird thing to be honest. Getting on medication is like one of those things. It's like real iffy and it's real scary to talk about. Yeah, a lot of people.
There.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that I was like on meds. So like I was taking these meds like every day, and I felt like I would feel a change in my life. Like I'd feel like, okay, I feel happier. I'd be like, okay, this doesn't bother me today. Like everything's gonna be all right. Like that's what was like my mindset with like that. And like I think my breakthrough was like the day that like the end of January 31st, I lost my job. I lost my insurance. So this was like, this was last year, 2020. So this is before I knew the pandemic was gonna be a thing. Unsuspectingly lost my job. So I no longer could do the insurance. The medication was like $80 a pop, and it was just hard. So I was like weaning myself off of this medication. So I went like a few days without, and I was like, nah, I got to get back on it. So I bit the bullet, got on it. So the bad part about it was when I could no longer afford it, it got really bad. Like it was like constant headaches. Like it felt like my brain was just like freezing, like out of nowhere. Like I could be doing something and feel like my brain just like skipped a beat, like all the time. And like through that whole process, I think like my breakthrough was like the whole time I was like, I don't think I really needed medication. I think it was just like a point that just like helped me mask everything even more. Because now at this point, like I said, I'm like, everything's good. Like I'm just going through it with like this mind because I'm on this medication. I'm like, I don't have to get up and do X, Y, and Z today. It'll still be there tomorrow. Like I'm not going to do my side gigs to make extra money, just like because it makes me feel happy to stay at home because like I'm off these meds. So it kind of like getting off the meds was kind of like a breakthrough. Like damn, like I really never needed these. Like these are making me like lazier and complacent. Like I just felt like stuck. But I think that was like my thing when I finally like got off of that medication and just like was like, man, this feels good to be off of it. Like I don't have to be dependent on these meds just to feel happy. So I think that was it for me.
Sean?
Yeah. Emotional breakthrough moment. Let me think. One of my moments was I lost my job 2020. I lost my job. I had just started a marketing job, fresh out of college. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to get lit. I did everything. I did everything they needed me to do, so I can make sure I secured this job. And it was fun. Like I worked at a company called Inner Workings, and I was in the beer, wine, spirits, and tobacco department.
Nice.
Well, they was lit every day. We had a beer fridge.
Oof.
So at 4 o'clock, you
remember
could go
those
to the
days.
beer fridge and you can get you a beer and you can sit and do your work.
Man.
So it was super fun. I was lit like every day at work, believe it or not.
Nigga was in baby Google.
Super lit.
Every
And
day we
then
lit.
pandemic happened and
Yeah.
I worked from home probably for like a month. And then they was like, yeah, we furloughing you. And I was like, dang. And it was like, yeah, you could come back July 31st. I had traveled to New Orleans. I'm in New Orleans getting lit. I had to make that call, though, because I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on with my job? Like, are y'all about to give me my job back? No. It was like, no. So I'm in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. Like, oh my God, I lost my
Not the
job.
way you want to be.
Taking shots of tequila.
It's a very emotionally compromisable setting.
But yeah, that was a tough time, because I've been in this situation before where I went out of town and lost my job, so it was like a repeat. So I was like, damn. But
Yeah.
we working, and I am in the process of finding better.
No, you'll find better.
What do you think was different when this happened to you this time around versus how you coped with it last time?
As far as coping, I was just like, you've been here before. Like, this ain't nothing you ain't never been through before. So, like, toughen the fuck up, tighten up. That's all. I was in New Orleans taking shots. I was like, tighten up. You got this shit. You done this before. Hustle.
Man.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And it's not saying don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them tears off. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know. I
'Cause
cried as I took my tequila shots. I was like, damn, I lost my job.
Like both of us got to realize, like, tears is not the antithesis or, like, the opposite of, like, fucking tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker would be, like, a cry and just get the tears off. You know what I'm saying?
But I thought about that money. I was like, I got to tighten up. But, you could cry, though.
You can always cry. Cry for a loss. Cry for a motherfucking loss.
Hey,
let it out.
You got to get a good cry in every now and then. Bro.
Absolutely.
Hey, nigga. I love the motherfucker.
I know. Trust me.
I love get some crying. So, have you ever seen me cry?
No.
Really?
Out of all the time that I've known you, I've never seen you cry.
I like to get a good emotional ass cry out. G. That shit therapeutic, G. Because it's like when I was a shorty, I would cry because I'd be like feeling emotionally persecuted. You know what I'm saying? And bullied and shit. And then so it didn't let me feel like I could cry like about like happy things or like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like I'm like, oh, like I'm a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like every time I cry, it's because like they treated me like this little ass boy. I'm this little ass boy, so like this is when you cry. So as a result, I didn't feel my emotions. I mean, like I'm a young boy. Like we fucking shot with testosterone and adrenaline, and like we got to be the toughest, things ever. But nigga, in my motherfucking adult life, I get these tears off my nigga. That is my shit, nigga. And I just cry for happy things. Like, my sister got me an equipment vinyl. Like, I fucking cried, like, instantly. Like, oh, here. I'm like, oh. Like, it was, you know what I'm saying? So,
that's adorable, man.
Yeah, feel free to get the motherfucking tears off.
Nah, that's crazy, though, because, like, you're not, like, growing up, you're never taught that, like, crying tears of joy are, like, a real thing. Like, especially as a black male.
Yeah, like, when have you seen your parents, like, do that?
Never.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen my parents cry tears of joy.
No, I've only seen my dad cry like one time, and it was a half.
I've never seen my dad cry.
Yeah, I think I seen. Okay, I didn't see him cry, but he had tears in his eyes when I got baptized, and I was like,
Word.
Yeah, those.
How old was you? Was you like 14?
I was in the 7th grade, so whatever 7th grade.
13.
Okay, yeah. I was like, damn, this is crazy. I've never seen him cry at a funeral or anything.
Oh wow! So you had never seen him cry? Period. No. I don't think I ever seen Matt cry.
I never seen my grandma on my mom's side cry.
Wow.
Never.
Damn.
And she like 88. Never seen her cry at all.
Wow.
Don't know if she cried. Like, don't know.
Wow.
I didn't see my mom cry until her dad died when I was 16.
I don't think I ever seen your mom cry.
She don't. Like she do, but she like it's very minimal. Like I had to be a whole teenager to actually see her cry. Like she was more of a tough cookie than like my dad. But I've never seen either of them like happy cry. Apparently they happy cry when I graduated, but like what the fuck that's gonna do for me, nigga? I'm all the way on stage. Put their ass on the projector. Bro, let me see these motherfucking tears.
Right before graduation, I had this vision like when I came off the stage, like me and my dad was gonna embrace and he was gonna cry. Funniest shit ever. I come out like we see each other. I run up, I hug him. He whispered in my ear. He was like, "Don't be doing none of that crying shit." I was like, "Wow!" I was like, I had this played out in my mind for the past 3 months. Yeah, I don't know. Those that other generation, man, they ate some tough cookies, bro. Because I don't see how you can not cry at a funeral for like a loved one and just like you just there, like. Now you gotta get them tears out, dog. Please do not.
Shit, them niggas was alive when King died. How you just not waking up one day and just busting in tears? And you know, they probably, the thing about parents too, they probably cried a shit ton when we not, you know what I'm saying? Like, and part of it is them feeling like they gotta be tough, like for their kids.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, why is it like that?
Yeah.
Like, why is it like that?
Vulnerability is a difficult thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, I still deal with it with my parents, like, today it being a hard thing. Like, my dad is much softer than he used to be, but, like, my mom, like, still has a very, like, steely exterior.
Yeah, I've seen your dad cry a lot.
You know? Yeah. Like, my dad, if he's sad, the nigga gonna cry. You know what I'm saying? But, like, my mom, it's like, and I think a lot of it has to do with, like, with her having the lupus for so long. I think it's just, like, she's just built up this, like, I gotta be Gucci, because like when she was missing school in high school, she ain't like that shit. She the baby, so it's like she just didn't want motherfuckers to think that, you know, she wasn't tough. So yeah, it'd be like that's good. I also want to say, in terms of shout out to 2020 and therapy, I tackled my unhealthy relationship with porn, and it is like,
I'm so proud of you.
Like, listen, I had to keep it a thou. I had to keep it a thou on the positive. We talk about the emotional breakthrough. Hey, listen.
Okay.
Listen. Yeah, I had to keep it a thou. You know, it was too much consumption, and like, you know, I was just affected. It was affected. Not only was it affected like areas of my relationship, but it was also like I really like did like research about it and just like how it like affects, you know, your sort of your like mental in terms of like instant gratification, right? So I've realized. So I was as you know, I was a fucking little book nerd when I was a shorty G, like. Reading, like I would read anything I got my hands on. I was Gucci, like I could read and comprehend. Those test scores was never an issue on like the standardized tests and shit.
Facts.
But as I've gotten older, I've realized that like I tend to read articles and not really read them bitches. And I know I'm not the only person, and I know it's not just because of porn, because it's like it's because of like the era that we're in terms of like technology, and we are being overloaded with information. Motherfuckers read headlines, don't read articles, that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Or
but
you skim it like you.
Right, but I've realized like how it affects me on different levels in terms of like desire and instant gratification. Whereas like it's also affecting memory. So like it's a lot of like details about like things I had did like the month before. Like I remember them broadly, but I don't remember literally like how you just told us like, oh yeah, it was $80 a pop and like this happened. Like that shit would just be like. And I read that like it has a lot to do with that consumption, because like I said, it's all about like gratification, and especially like if you trying to find something that's gonna do it for you and you putting it off, you know you could get it at any time. Like it's literally like, oh, like I can turn this shit on and peep this shit anytime. So yeah, man, I want to shout out to my therapist. I ain't gonna say her name because I don't know if that's like conflict of interest type shit. But like, nah, but she's dope. Yeah. I like it's all else. Her last name. Shout out Keisha. She's dope. She like be on that motherfucker laughing. State of the Black Union conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to shout out my therapist.
Hey, shout out to you, brother.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you. I remember when you first told me about that goal, man. Of course, how we do, we laughed about it. Per usual, but no, I'm glad you stuck through it, man. Like, crushing those therapy goals be the shit, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You be so proud. Like, those are, totally different goals, man.
Especially when you're setting them for yourself. Like, your therapist guides you, but it's not like you don't feel like it's like you disappointing, like, your professor or your mom or your aunt, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about, like, you guys collaboratively working to see like what's gonna work for you. Like, what is your goal, my nigga? Like, why do you want to eliminate like doing this so much?
Facts.
Okay, and then we go from there. Not like, oh, nigga, it's bad that you're doing it. Like, you need to cut it down. It's like, no, because for some people, a lot works for some. You know what I'm saying? Like, for some people, it's a different thing. But I just realized how it was taking an effect on me, so just wanted to shout that out.
I'm still figuring out if I like my therapist. I don't really know.
How long has it been?
Yeah, how long?
I feel like we may be at like maybe our 6th or 7th session.
Yeah, you don't like her.
And I'm still confused. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to just see what happens. Right. But now I'm just like, nah, I don't know.
She black?
Yeah.
Got you.
Well, that's the first step. Look, that's he got that down. That's good.
No, my therapist was dope. I gotta go back to therapy soon, but my therapist was dope though. Having a black therapist is also dope. We used to go to family therapy when I was younger, and I don't think I can't remember what race he was, but it was just like but like now just like having somebody that's like close in age that knows like everything that's going on, it's kind of dope just to have an open conversation with somebody about that. Like, especially somebody so close in age. Like, my therapist be opening my eyes to, like, little stuff that I say that, like, I just be like, yeah, like, but it's all right, though, like, because X, Y, and Z. And she be like, no, it's not all right. You shouldn't just be willing to just, like, settle with that just because it's been happening for so long. So it's, like, kind of dope just to be like, damn, like, you went to school for this and learned all this in, like, the same amount of time. Like, it's just kind of dope, bro. Yeah.
Dog, nah, you just hit it on the head, like relatability, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like when I went into trying to find my next therapist, I wanted that person to be like around my age or whatever, because the one I had before, he was an older guy. He probably was like in his late 40s, and I think that's the same age as like my current one, but she still feels like incredibly relatable, incredibly like hip to like, you know, like things that's happening in technology, right? But in a way that is like not trying to be like Miss Cool, you know what I'm saying? It's just literally like you tapped in, you know what I'm saying? So like relatability is like definitely a
my
key.
Therapist,
like you at home.
I don't know. She started like talking about herself a little bit. I be like,
How old is she?
Probably like maybe early 30s or mid 30s.
And it's okay, like if your first one or two therapists ain't the one. Like I just said, like my first therapist wasn't the one.
She was my second therapist of like 2020. I tried one from the Boris F. Henson Foundation.
Shout out to Taraji P.
Henson's foundation. And she was cool. She was cool because like we did meditation, and I like that. Dope. I need that. Yeah. So I'm like, that's cool. But when it came to like actually discussing like issues, it was like, nah.
That's dope. So, I was doing meditation though.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. But as far as like getting through my issues, I was like, nah.
Do you do any meditation like outside of therapy now?
I bought the stuff to do it, but making myself do it is just not. Nah.
Do you know where I meditate? In the shower. Oh. It's the only place where I can.
Say the shower.
It's the only place where I can just like, all right. Headphone out, hop in, and just like, you know, I just think about the water, because I had to understand just kind of how to meditate, because that's one thing I shout out my first therapist, like him providing me information on that. That's funny that like our first therapist like did that for us, because like that was one of the things that like he did like kind of like help me understand better how to do. Because for me, I just always like, oh man, you got to be quiet and like you can't think about no other thoughts.
Nah.
But it's also it's just really just about feeling like being one of like what you're around. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like it with the shower, because it gives me a something to hear. I can be one with it. Like I'm just hearing the water. Like I'm being one with like the surroundings that I'm in. Yeah.
I like the guided meditations.
Word.
When I do them.
When you do them. Well, you gonna pick it back up. Moving on. We talked about job hunting, like how the job hunt journey has been. So, Dav, I know you were telling us on our way here, you've been with your job for the past 8 months, but
Which is
did
amazing.
you find, because I'm terrible with that kind of math, but did you find this job within the quarantine?
Bro, funniest story. So yeah, basically, I think I applied for this job on February like 24th, 2020. I had just literally, I used to check this one job board like every day.
Which one?
It's a bunch of my shit you info. I get you right. But I used to check this job board every day, and this one particular day I was doing Lyft, and I seen it, and I was just, oh my bad. I'm sorry, I could have been.
No, you good. Sorry.
I checked it, and like I applied for this one job, and I never thought I was gonna get it. Applied for it February 24th. Didn't hear back till the last week of April. Yeah, I was out there. I forgot that I filled it out until I got the the interview request. But yeah, I did it. I did the interview. I think next day they sent me my offer letter, and I went through like the whole process. Yeah, it was lit. It was a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I found it. But like, I was like filling out like applications through like the pandemic, because I was like, it's getting rough.
Because you said you lost your last job in 2020, right?
Yeah, January 31st, 2020.
So how long was it between that and like the job that you at now?
I didn't start this new job to June 1st, 2020. So from the end of January, so February, March, April, May, so like pretty much prime quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, I remember how like stressful it was, like you just gathering like materials and stuff like that. But what I mean, like, but tell like the people, like, how did you keep yourself encouraged trying to find something, like, you know, just in that mode of like you don't have anything going?
It's hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I can't even sugarcoat it and be like, you know, like it weighed on me for like the longest, because I was scared to go out and do, like, I was doing Lyft at the time. I was scared to go out and do Lyft because I'm like, man, like this disease is getting so bad. Like, I don't want nobody getting in my car, and then I just catch it from like just trying to make this money. But like, you just gotta stay positive, man. Like, in whatever you do in life, you have to stay positive. If you, like, I always tell my friends, and it's pretty much cliche, you think positive will happen. You think negative gonna happen.
Facts.
You just gotta change your mindset. You just gotta, like, a lot of hope and a lot.
But
of
not for the sake of sounding like motherfucking motivational speaker. Like,
no, I'm far from a motivational speaker. I'll be honest.
Not trying to sound like have dinner with Jay-Z
Right.
Twitter. Like, we ain't saying that, like, you know, like that's the formula instantly. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of times when you thinking positively for the 5 days, and like 4 of them days gonna suck. Yeah.
Man.
It's just all about how you handle them negative days.
For sure,
bro.
for sure.
If you,
Because them can bring you down quicker than the positive days can bring you up.
and sometimes you need a negative day, like in the aspect of like, you need a day that like, I'm not gonna do nothing. Like, I'm finna just like
recharge.
Yeah,
and that's not even, you don't even call that negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like what she just said. Like, it's recharge day. Like,
what's the neutral? Is it a proton?
You asking the wrong nigga. I just told y'all I did well in the reading instead of the motherfucker the reading and the social studies, nigga. Science, man, math.
Whatever the neutral atom.
A neutron? Oh shit! I would
might be on to something.
Shout out to Jimmy. You know what I'm saying?
No, caught that. No, yeah. You just sometimes you just need to like when you feel down in the dumps, like they say, the old cliche, like when you at the bottom, the only way to go is to the top. Like,
Word up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of that corny shit that you hear in movies and like in real life, people be thinking it's corny, but like honestly, that shit
Got some validity to it.
Those be the keys to life, bro. Yeah, some of them are real legit corny, but like, yeah, like, but nah, I'm real big on like reaffirming myself that like everything could be work itself out. Like,
you gotta keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, but no, you gotta. That job hunt is hard though, man. But you gotta find like the jobs that ain't nobody else looking at. Yeah. Like you gotta go out like the regular like outside of like the Indeeds. Like you gotta go to companies' websites and just see if they. Yeah.
I want to pivot over to Shawna real fast and you know obviously ask you the same question, like how was like dealing with the job hunt for you, but also can you touch upon because I know for a fact we've all been through this in terms of like having a degree, getting that degree in a specific space, not finding the jobs in that specific space. You know what I'm saying? How do you cope with that? How do you like what kind of conversations do you have with yourself to you know to cope with it? But so start out talking about how the job hunt was for you. How did it feel? And then talk about that.
The job hunt now.
Yeah, your most recent job hunt. Your quarantine 2020 job hunt.
This job hunt, man. It's been rough. It's been really rough. And my background is PR, communication. So, PR and music business management. Right. And so I'm like, okay, I've tried to, you know, do marketing. I've tried to do PR. So I'm just like, I'm just going to try to do, like these music jobs, like looking into music jobs. And so really both of these fields are hard to find a job in. Facts. Both of them are. But music, of course, that's expected. But PR, I didn't think it would be this hard. I thought, you know, PR is something that can translate over to, you know, a lot of different things. So it's been really tough. You got to, like, know people. And that's what I'm starting to discover. And so I've been networking my ass off. I've been on a bunch of different websites. It's a website called Girl Boss. You can get on there and you can advertise yourself and talk about the things that you do. And people will connect you or I've had conversations with people off of Girl Boss. I use it's now a website, but it used to be a group on LinkedIn, and it's called Hire Black Initiative. So it was created by this woman randomly on LinkedIn, and it started as a forum, and now it's a website. So that's how I've been gaining a bunch of connections now. I'm in the process of like doing interviews and stuff like that. But all because of Hire Black Initiative is how I've been able to get these interviews and like connect with people. So you guys should go to hirebblackinitiative.com and if you want a PR job, if you want a music job, or you want any type of job, all you got to do is introduce yourself and it's going to come together because it's really been working out. But as far as like getting through it, I just been reaffirming that everything is going to be okay. You know, just reminding myself and like even with meditation, when you meditate and like you go through the process of having your negative thoughts, but what you're taught with meditation is that you're supposed to just let those negative thoughts pass through you. And you know, like they're gonna come, like you can't ignore them, they're gonna happen, but just let them pass through you. Don't consume yourself in it. So that's what I try to like tell myself, like, this job hunting shit sucks, but shit, just get through it and it'll be okay.
And the job that you were last at before your current one, wasn't it kind of like operating in that space a little bit?
The last job before that, nah, it was more office related stuff. It was office related, and it was actually through a temp agency, so it wasn't like guaranteed. Gotcha. So yeah. So
you kind of, I mean, when shit kind of shook, it kind of like it was a surprise, but it kind of wasn't a surprise.
It was stuck.
No, man, like I remember like just how excited I was for you because like, you know, it was your first gig out of graduation because you graduated 2019, right?
May 2019.
Yeah. So it was like your first gig out of graduation. It's like it's actually like it's nice paying.
What? I was lit.
You got insurance. You know, motherfuckers feel lit when they got some insurance, G.
I was like,
motherfuckers feel lit when they got some insurance. So like, I was just really excited for you. It was like, yeah, the vibes is cool. I'm like, yeah. So like, I know it was difficult to just like kind of go through that, but I'm proud of you because even to just hear you talk about it is like you really on some like I like how you just threw in like when you were talking like just like hustle like you just gotta get back to it. Like shout out my nigga Spitter. One of the main things that nigga say, he said, I had it once, getting it again should not be a problem.
Period. And that's how I feel.
Listen, G, like I really done adopted that mentality the past couple of years. Like, damn, like I gotta dig into the savings for something. Hey man, you had it once, you get it again. Like, and I done did the shit twice. You feel me? So it's like you gotta have that mentality. You gotta have that mentality for sure.
Hey, big baller.
Nah. look, that's not what I'm saying. No, but in terms of like for me, like, so I've had like my primary job like in record racing for the past it's 2021, so it's going on 5 years. So I've had that like same job, and I've like moved up vertically in that job, so that's been dope. But in November 2019, I got brought on like to a newborn photography company, and like for me that was, even though I got my degree in journalism, but like that was like my first time feeling like I'm like, oh, like I'm actually doing a job, like
something you like doing.
Yeah, like a job like in the media space. Yeah. Like I had done, stuff like True Style and stuff like that, but that still felt like, like I don't want to say Little League, but it just feels like different. You know what I'm saying? Like that was something I started doing in high school. So even though like I was doing things for them as an adult, it still felt like, okay, these are high school rules. This is how you got put on to that. Right. So when I went and was like putting in shit on Indeed, like all like video and photography jobs, and I came up on that was like a very like promising thing for me, and I was starting to like.
I remember you being excited about that too.
Yeah, so I was starting to make like sales and shit, and then March came around, and Miss Rona, yeah, right, and it's been stuck ever since. Fucking you saying like, they like, yeah, we don't want you in these hospitals, and and like they kind of like reach out to us, but like they not telling us nothing because shit, they don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of discouraging. You know what I'm saying? So I went like until November of this past year with like just like my primary job, and for one, I was just thankful to just still have a job. Period. Especially like we was at home and like they still paying us. You know what I'm saying? However, that wasn't gonna cut it. Like that wasn't gonna be enough to to cut it like for what I'm trying to achieve. So like going to find something, like I found some shit in the lowest of retail. You know what I'm saying? Like and doing something. The one way you can look at it like, man, like I didn't motherfucking go to school, all these years for this, to be doing shit like this. But at the same time, like I go into it like, look, man, like things happen to all kinds of different people, right? At all type of different levels, all type of educational levels. And the moment you go in thinking like that, it's gonna be a miserable experience. Yeah. It's so much stuff I don't know, like I didn't know how to do before I got there. So it's like you got to look at it in that perspective, like, bro, like you getting the check, and like. And it helps because, like, I'm doing it, like, only a couple days a week. So it's, like, it's just something that's not, like, occupying, like, my mind space. Like, it only occupies my mind space when I get there. So I still have time to, like, dedicate to other things, like, whether it's in my main job, development programs, or, like, things like such, you know what I'm saying? And, like, the photography on the side, stuff like that. So I just had to have that mentality, like, yeah, bro, like, you got that sweet gig. It was lit. You felt professional. But it's something gonna come back around. Like, ain't nobody asked for COVID,
yeah, man.
Ain't nobody asked for that shit.
Just gotta stay positive. It's part of your life journey. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get over it. You're gonna be better than where you started.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. You're gonna be years removed. Like, hey, bro, the shit happens. Like, remember I lost that motherfucking job? I thought that job was the shit. Look at where I'm at now.
You also like the only person I know in our age range that's been at their jobs for multiple years.
Gee, now that's listen. You say that, but it's tripped out for me because like I didn't think that was you know what I'm saying? Because like I like you know me, G, y'all call me the Jamaican and shit. So I like how all these like different jobs and shit. So like to even like be somewhere for like almost 5 years and like not like hate it. Not to say I ain't had like some times where I'm like, I don't know, dog, but like
Facts.
Yeah, no, G, like it's stripped out for me because I'm just like, what, like,
You've
nigga,
had
like,
many jobs before. I'm like that.
right, exactly. So
did.
it's like to even stick with something for so long is like it's very foreign to me because it's like it's a lot of people they get out of college and they just get into career and it's like go, like, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know that life.
That's also a thing that like you. The biggest thing that this dude told me that I worked with, right going into my senior year before college, my senior year of college, he was like, don't come out expecting to make buku money. He was like, if you go in with that mindset that you gonna like get with it, he was like, you're gonna be so much more disappointed when you come out and you don't even get a job. And he was like, so don't be expecting it. And I was just like, I ain't trying to hear that. Like,
I wish somebody would have told me that.
I was like, that shit sounds stupid. I was like, what you mean, bro? Like, I'm finna get a good job coming out. And, like, he did not lie. Like,
No lie was
like,
told.
yo, like, and I owe, shout out my man, Todd. I owe Todd a million apologies because I was just like, man, that shit sounds stupid. But then I was just, like, remembering, like, every time I like, went through this, like, you're not always you shouldn't get down on yourself because, like, a lot of Americans do not find jobs, especially blacks. We don't, if we do find a job, it's not in our field. You know, like, with me, with my marketing degree, the first thing they was like is go to sales. And sales is, like, sales drains you mentally to, like, that low point, bro.
I fell for you, bro.
And you cannot have a soul to work in sales for real and be good at it, bro.
Dog, I did one, like, interview for a sales job when I was, like, a sophomore in college, and, like, it was, like, essentially, like, telemarketing. Like, you're trying to get mocks to donate back to the university. Yeah. Boy, I didn't even make it through that whole interview because they put you on a mock, like, they make you do a mock, like, phone call and stuff like that. I'm just like... Yeah, did you like your experience at IU? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you fuck with it? This is somebody be like, no, they could tell that I don't have the heart in me to, like, ask people to give me money.
Facts. Yeah, some of those jobs are like
in that factor. Send us money. Sponsorship's so weird. Like, if you feel like you want to support the cause, but like in that faction,
facts.
Basically something I don't. If it's not something I don't believe in, I don't feel passionate about.
Yeah,
how can I successfully convince you to, like, give me money?
Yeah, bro. I've sold timeshare before, brother. Like, that is one of the, like, most eye-opening jobs of, like, when you not getting paid, bro, but, like, you still gotta go to work. Like, that is modern day slavery. But it's like,
fuck commission-based jobs.
It was.
Shout out to Bella Baby, though. I love you guys.
Bro, I was going through it, and it just drained on me so bad, bro. Like, those sales jobs, thank God I'm not in sales anymore. But, yeah, those sales jobs, bro, like honestly, like, most people are going to get great jobs coming out of college. Most people, a lot of people are, a lot of people aren't. But you just got to stay positive and, like, you just got to stick that shit out. Like, you just got to be creative because there's jobs out there. Yeah. Like, especially with my job, bro. Like, people didn't even know that was out there. They like, you do what? Like, you got to search. Like, you just can't, you have to be very creative in your job search no matter what you do. You have to pull out all the stops, ask anybody you know. Like, yo, y'all hiring? Like, yeah, you can't let it get down on you mentally, though.
Damn, dog, that's a buzzword for the job.
If you're in college right now, do internships. Because I wasn't doing any.
Me neither.
Like, I was so depressed.
I did a fellowship. I did one fellowship.
Well, I did one. Yeah. I did one internship, and it was for a music blog, and no, it was not the business, but. If you're in college, definitely do an internship, for sure.
Facts. It's so much that you don't learn about college in college to after you graduate.
But I mean, bro, like,
to like the end.
Yeah. Well, your dad went to school, but, like, did your parents go to college? Like,
I'm the first generation.
Like, thankfully, I had Relly. Like, I had my sister, but, like, yeah, I mean, she was the first generation. You know what I'm saying? What I was gonna say was, like, shout out to and I'm gonna get you. Well, no, I'm not gonna say. Shout out to Charlemagne. Reading his book, and just he always emphasizes making sure that, like, don't get so caught up in, like, money, which is like it. hearing that is like, it's like, bro, what?
What?
Like, huh? Like, but no, but his whole thing was like he did so much like radio stuff early, like for little to no money. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith has this testimony like all the time. Like, you like, I was eating tuna sandwiches in North Carolina, da 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 da. But like,
not tuna.
Yeah, but like Charlamagne's like point is like, man, like, I say this for like college students. I don't say this for like motherfuckers when they graduate from college. Yeah, like, motherfuckers gotta get to the bag. But like for some college students, like, just depending on your situation, everything is different. I'm never gonna tell you to just jump into something free. Like, you can still have a job. If you can still have a job and still maintain an internship, that's what I would advise. You know what I'm saying? Because like, oh, well, I ain't advising you doing like the fellowship I did. It was a paid fellowship. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't advising nobody to like do nothing for free if they don't have to.
Absolutely.
But
not.
don't get so caught up. Like, say if you want to go into the media space and your school got a radio station. If they not, I know a lot of times like they might end up paying you at those jobs, but like it'll be like you'll have to be like seniority or whatever. So like if you got an opportunity to get into it like your freshman, sophomore year, bro, just go do it. Go do it. Go get that experience, because if that's what the field that you want to go into, this is the best time to like learn your lumps, make connections, because a lot of times, and I want to shout out you because you're somebody that I look at that like, I always be like, man, like, bro, you did college right. You know what I'm saying? Because like you did no, but this is the reason I say that, because like when I came down and like visited you, I saw that you were part of your black union. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what school did you go to?
So my first 2 years of college, I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. Shout out, go Jags. I did 4 years at Western Illinois University.
Okay. Shout out to the Leathernecks. You know what I'm saying? Hey. It was a fucking Leathernecks. What kind of mascot name is that?
Neck the fuck up.
So I can't even speak on your Southern experience because I didn't experience your Southern experience. Like, I ain't peeped none of your Southern experience. Yeah. But like in terms of like what I saw from your Western, like you're a member of the community on campus. Like, you Black Student Union. You're doing these different things, but you're also like you tapped in with like Black students on campus. You know what I'm saying? That's another. I say this on damn near every other podcast episode. Please, if you go into a PWI, tap in with your Black people, because I did not tap in with my Black people the way I should have, and it fucked me over. But yeah, so like, but I always looked at you as somebody that like, and you were doing things like, I remember you were doing like different jobs that like, it might not necessarily been directly to marketing, but like there were jobs that were like it could give you potential connections. Like you were truly like active in your college experience. Yeah. And so I say all that to say to like to students, like, man, like find your involvement, because a lot of times the mogs that like you'll be doing the radio station with for these 3-4 years, they end up being the mogs that can like plug you when y'all graduate.
Facts.
You know, I started to kind of like coming to that at DePaul, you know what I'm saying, in my last like year and a half or whatever when I went there. But like, yeah, so it's like do that networking and like take on an internship that might not, really pay you no bread. Get your job too. I ain't saying be a slave, but
hey, networking college, man. Like,
absolutely
so underrated.
Hey man, my homie when I was in Indiana, the man said college is 95% finesse. And I was like, dog, you ain't never lied.
That's true.
You ain't never lied.
Get degrees, but I didn't have just C's. I just want to put that
Gee, for me, like with my degree, I can't. I just told y'all something I learned in college, but like in terms of the classroom, my nigga,
can't remember nothing.
Listen, dog, most of our learning in school was outside of that classroom.
I swear to God, bro, college is a
majority.
College is more so like your intro to adulthood to see how you handle pressure, basically.
Exactly.
More than anything, bro.
And shout out to our remote learning students now, because
I know it's hard.
Hey,
like not even talking about the college ones. I'm talking about these high schoolers. Yeah. Like, this is the test of time, because with the shorties, like, they still have a level of monitoring. With these high schoolers, it's all on you. Like BG say, it's all on you, G. Like, you either go like tap in and like do your work or not. I know some shorties like you. I work with kids. Like, I know some shorties that like just failing. You know what I'm saying? Son that's keeping 3.6s. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's literally preparing you for college, because you literally have to like. Ain't nobody gonna make you go to class. Who gonna make you go to class, G? Bro. No one. Like, that's on you.
If I was in high school right now, bro, I probably would be a straight A student during this pandemic, bro. Because
I
Like you
would too,
said-
because
I
my
would
OG,
too.
because my
Facts,
OG
bro.
at the crib. But if my
Oh,
OG
that
wanted
too,
the
brother.
crib,
I know how to cheat though, but like,
yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
that
But
too.
like, but if my OG wanted the crib, like,
but like niggas is failing classes right now, and I just be like, y'all, all y'all had to do is show up, like y'all at the
But
crib, just turn the.
you said if
camera
you're a
on.
high school
No,
student
but
or a
it's
college
gotta-
student.
High school.
Well, see, the reason why is because in a lot of homes, like for instance, like in some homes, it's like a shit ton of siblings and stuff. Some of the siblings
Yeah.
not even going to school. They supposed to be in high school, they're not going to school, and it's just like, as you grow older, the level of like monitoring and accountability that like a parent is gonna have or you is gonna decrease because they feel like you're gonna give them off that pressure, like, ugh, stop sweating me, like I can maintain, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they're going through that, so they're like, oh, I'm gonna let you do you, and then like imagine like some parents like they going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them, like I have had to go back to work, so it's like you really gotta be on some like. I know a lot for a lot of these teens, and we gonna move to the next subject in a sec because I don't want to run over time. But listen, for some of these teens, it's like they looking at this shit like they're not looking at it as a real consequence, particularly like incoming freshmen. Like they're not looking at it as like a year of consequence because nothing is normal. There is no like precedence for like for the
Yeah.
pandemic, for the Rome bomb. So it's like. You don't like you like, oh well, I can fuck off and like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, my OG like doing remote like working, like, so like obviously it's not that shit, you get what I'm saying? So it's like it's not like real ramifications in some of these kids' eyes.
It's interesting to see how they handle like a lot of these kids that are like getting these poor grades right now, to see how they like go about like getting these kids to the next level.
Pump that
these
bottle shot.
Ooh.
Just unprecedented times, something that we couldn't plan for at all. But yeah,
Not at all. Is that your champagne dance? Do you want us to like bless it? Or is
Bless it.
do I need to let me
Pass it for him to bless it.
be honest, opening champagne bottles gives me
Wait.
like just don't.
I mean,
I
if you
should
want to
stand
stand
up.
over there.
Yeah.
Now, what I'll tell you is like, don't worry about it popping unless you shake it. That's a misconception people be having about champagne. Like they just be thinking, hey, do you remember on my graduation night? Gee, I thought I was gonna be so lit. I'm pulling the Bel Air bottle away from everybody, and that bitch ain't really pop. It's like, nigga, ain't really pop because you ain't shake that bitch. Like you.
Oh yeah, I definitely made sure you were lit that day. That's crazy.
Yeah, listen, but shit, everybody else was litter than me on my shit. I was litter at your graduation actually than I was at my own graduation.
Yeah, it's like at your own, you can't get too sloppy.
Yeah, because you gotta like maintain like
Yeah.
what's going on. Yeah, no. What do I want to go into the next was I actually, so it's Valentine's Day coming up, this coming Sunday. So I wanted to ask you guys
This scares me every
real
time.
quick. I know, right? What's your most emotional heartbreak and how did you cope? And what was that impact on your mental health?
Champagne.
Jesus Christ. man.
Anybody can volunteer to go first. I just want to tell you, Shawna was trying to opt out. Like this is not her podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Man.
disappear from this.
All right, that's cool because we want to get into our last one.
My emotional, you said my most emotional breakup.
Yeah.
Man, I'll just give like, I think my first one was probably, my first real one was like such a dumb one, but like, it was so bad, bro. Like, this was like, and it's like, the thing that made it even worse was so much shit was going on in my life to add onto it. Like, I think I got put on like academic probation that year. Like, my dad kicked me out the crib. I was living with my cousins. I ain't had no job, and like all of that was like weighing down. Like for me, like being in this like situational type, you dig. And I think like I attached to people that like I really vibe with, and it was just this one relationship that I had, and like it was like all bad. Like I lost like 30 pounds like over the summer, bro, just like sitting in the crib. Like it's always bad when you don't notice that you losing weight, but everybody around you is like pointing it out. You like, yeah, bro, like it was so bad, bro. I used to wake up. It was so bad that like I used to vomit like 2 to 3 times a day minimum, bro. Like I would wake up and that was the first thing. Like it was like I had morning sickness. Like I get up and just be like, damn, like this shit sucks, and just like going through it. I'm not crying. I guess I'm in my eye.
And is this just like dealing with the conclusion of that relationship or like how it concluded?
How it was like concluding per se. And like I always have like I don't have a great like a super great role model when it comes to relationships.
Shout out to the Mac man. Shout out my uncle.
My dad does not like he's one of those tough love guys. Like he don't believe in like heartbreak. He don't believe in like a lot of stuff. So it's kind of like, what the hell you crying for? Like what's wrong? Like that shit's stupid. Like yeah, it'd be alright. Like without like telling me like like without giving me like real advice. That's what it was always like. So it's like I never had that like model. Like I didn't know that like I could get my heart broken. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I ain't like feeling real feelings for the first time is horrible. But yeah, that was like bad. We like included and like I felt like playing on so many different levels. Like I felt like I put my all into it and it wasn't like reciprocated. But I came back stronger and better than ever. I'd say that for sure. It is those heartbreaks, like I said, man, like you lose weight. It was just the best part of it. I swear.
Hey, this man said the other day, he was like, hey man, I'm putting on some weight. It might be time to get somebody to break my heart.
Oh my God.
I got drunk one night and I texted my ex and I was like, would you mind coming back in my life to break my heart again so I could lose 30 pounds before my birthday?
What?
But, yeah, I'm sick. I know it's crazy, but no. Those are like real life lessons. You learn so much about yourself after you deal with something so harsh like that. Especially it was my first one. Oh man, that was. You just like you can't even like I can't even go to the guys and be like, yeah, bro, like I'm sad. Like
I'm crying in front of folks now.
Right. I'm just sad for no reason. It's like I can't tell nobody because like, and I think that's like the stigmatism. Like I don't know if that's the right word, but I just roll with it.
Stigma.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know if stigma is short for stigmatism. So you might be on to something.
Yeah. It's just this whole thing that we got like as guys that we can't express ourselves. We can't feel feelings.
You crying over. Yeah.
That's exactly how it is.
Basically,
like, crying over
like, are you really doing this right now, bro?
What they say, Kate, you doing this all over a chick? Like,
hey, bro, no, that segue into mine, bro. Because like the last time, like I really was like heartbroken over a chick was my last like committed relationship. We broke up. We were together for a year, and it was back like 2013. But she was my college girlfriend. So when I came to college, I spent like the first semester like being wild. You know what I'm saying? Like I just told y'all what happened grades wise. You know what I'm saying? So like I was just dipping it out. But like at the time I was maintaining a situationship with somebody back home, a couple situationships, but then like I was also like falling in love with this girl at school or whatever. And so finally we got together like in that second semester, and when we broke up, man, we had actually broke up like 2 times before we finally broke up. Like I had broke up with her the first time. I was like, oh, like I just know this ain't gonna work. Da 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 da. And I tell people all the time that like when it comes to heartbreak, a lot of times people be like, oh, like how you heartbreaking? Like that person they do nothing to you, like they ain't cheat on you or da 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 da. Yeah. But what I was heartbroken because it didn't work out. Like I like really love the girl. Like I really loved it. Yeah, and it's just like damn, like you really like putting into it, and like it's like damn, like because I knew when I broke up with the first time that like this wasn't gonna work, but it's like you steady trying to like
you was trying to make it work.
Yeah, you going against what like what you're saying or whatever. So man, what's so funny, man? Like you talk about like how it's just affect you like out like in different ways. I remember us hooping like that summer, and like we had like beat up with it, like my nephew with us and everything. And at one point, like, I just turned the ball over and I just ain't even, like, just sat there, like, ain't even hustle back. Like, with me, anybody know anything, G? I can have times when I ain't making a shot, but I ain't never not gonna play hard. And I turned the ball over and just, like, put my hands on my knees and just, that's like, wild. Watch that happen. And I remember my brother was like, what's wrong with you, brother? Like, and I had never, but I realized at that point, I hadn't, like, actually spoke about, like, how it was affecting me. Yeah. And like basketball is like something like I love to do. Like it's literally like therapeutic. So like for that to like carry over into that, it's just like you don't even like you're not even having fun doing this. Right. I realize I'm like, damn dog, you really
heartbroken.
Like this really that shit really hurting you, G. So man, yeah, it was tough, man. Especially like in those first few months or whatever. And you're away at school and you're just trying to figure shit out, man. But I wanna shout out to her because like recently I like reached out to her and like we did like some like closure a couple years ago. Not closure because we was like we was closed on our relationship, but I apologized to her in terms of like not being a good friend because you go through that stage like afterwards where you still messing around, like you still trying to mess around, and like. Yeah. She like at one point after that she like I still want to be friends and I'm like no I don't want to do that but I'm not setting the hard line boundary so like as a result I'm treating you bogus because I'm not setting the hard line boundary like I'm not just being like I don't want to do it this is good for our like for my getting over this I'm still like basically like treating you bogus because I still want to deal with you in some fashion so I wanted to apologize for that but yeah that was my last one. Motherfucker throwing turnovers, got his hands on his knees. It's like a nigga when he retired, when he about to retire, and he like, oh, I ain't even got it in me to even run back and go on defense.
It's like crazy because you never know what nobody's going through. Like it's wild. But like I remember that this one day when I was going through my shit, I pulled up on you to drop off. I think it was some money grandma gave me to get to you, and like. You was like making a joke, and I was just like, I'm in the car, just like, you was like, and I remember you was like, you ain't gonna ask me why I got this pizza box in my hand, and I was just like, nah, bro, like, and then you was just like, you good? And I was like, I'll holler at you, bro. You just like, you just ain't gonna ask me what the, like, you just never know, like. Niggas be going through like hell and high water,
and like, and your niggas know because it's like, bro, you not gonna respond, like you not inquiring about like what's happening.
It's hard to tell your homies you going through a heartbreak. Like I don't know how it is with like women, but like with men, it's like
how is it?
Yeah. We were like, bitch, she did this, bitch. Oh my god, it's over.
Oh shit, man. Okay, we running out of time. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, y'all, was real quick. What tactics do you use, like so for trying to stay creative and inspired while dealing with the pandemic? So all of us, like I would say we consider ourselves creators, right? Mm-hmm. But something with dealing with something like a quarantine and shit like that, like you literally isolated into spaces. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the same type of like. You don't have the same type of vibes that you experiencing regularly, you know what I'm saying? Shawna always teases because I call her Pop-Out Patty, you know what I'm saying? Like, she stay in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't have the same type of... So, like, how do you stay... Hey, man. It is what it is. So how do you stay inspired and creative during the pandemic?
I don't know. You just got to find ways to be creative. You got to inspire yourself just off, like, little things. You also have to realize that, like, it's either this is how things are going to be for forever or, like, things are going to change. So you just got to ride that wave and use this as, like, inspiration. Like, I use this as inspiration to get better with something, like, every day. Mm-hmm. A lot of opportunities have been created for me during this pandemic, which are really dope. And I know everybody else is not the same for everybody else. But you just got to... Man, like, you just have to find, you just got to find something in the little things that you see. Like, you just have to be inspired by, like, the smallest things that you can think of. Like, I get hope over just, like, thinking about something that I'm going to do in, like, 2 weeks. Word. Like, you got to be happy about, like, little shit. Like, when I knew about this, like, I was like, yo, like, I'm there. Like, fuck everything else that I got going on, bro. Like,
I've been excited about this shit.
Like, yeah, me too.
Anytime I know I'm going to see somebody in my family, I'm like, yo, like, you just got to be, like, happy about, like, every little thing that you see or do. Like, For sure. Was, like, I'm happy about, like, writing this book. So, like, that's like, my little motivation is that, like, I'm going to create something dope during this, like, shitty time in our lives that, like, I'm going to go back.
To look forward to.
Right. When I tell my kids, like, yo, this is how I came out this pandemic.
This panini press.
The panini.
My favorite one is the Panasonic.
Oh, not the Panasonic.
The panoramic.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, you just got to, in a panoramic. But you just got to just find something, man. Like, this is, like, I feel like this time has made me so much more creative because I got so much more time because I'm not out. You're not out in these streets no more. Like, you at the crib, you just got to be like, hey, I'm gonna do this today. Like, find something new, get a new hobby or something.
Don't that nigga sound like a thought? He said, I'm not in these
I'm not in these streets no more, man. I miss the events with free drinks. I'm tired of buying alcohol.
Hey, I said recently when the motherfucker was complaining about Chicago nightlife scene, I was like, yeah, you know, I feel you. Like, it's not the best club city, but I was like, but if you ain't never like known what event you could go to where it was free drinks for the first hour and like the motherfucking Red Bull concert, you don't know the Chicago nightlife. Shawna, how do you stay inspired and creative during this panty?
How do I stay inspired? With a glass of wine. No.
Shout out. in the joint for my smokers over here. He like, whoa, brother.
Pass me the wine.
I work for Disney.
You should taste it.
Yeah, this shit fire. I don't know if it's because, like, I done had some red, but, like, champagne, you know, it be hit or miss.
He feeling this stuff,
yeah. Nah, it's good.
It be hit or miss.
It's 13%. Almost 14.
Shout out to Sierra Jabri.
But, how do I stay inspired? Yeah, by having things to look forward to.
Yeah.
By having things to look forward to and just reminding myself that that you have a purpose. And I feel like having a purpose is always recognizing your purpose will always keep you motivated. It will always keep you inspired. She's So Weird is what keeps me motivated. Darian keeps me motivated. So he's my accountability buddy. Darian is on my ass about everything as far as like staying creative, and we agreed that we would both do that for each other to make sure that we both stay, you know, in flow and working on our crafts. So
accountability buddies.
Because when you try to get in this motherfucking bag, G, what the fuck is creativity sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just like,
Man,
I'm
tired.
What you sound like, but all right, yeah. Hey, shout out to my all my accountability buddies, man. Y'all be there for me. Shout out the Hot Boys. That's my homies. That's our little thing. And shout out to my cousin Kevin and my boy Jilla. Those are my accountability
and shout out to all the
buddies.
creativities and the creators in the building.
Shout
Shout out to DJ Gemini Jones. You know, shout out everybody in the space. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no. Like, thank you, Shawna. Like, you do the same for me. You know what I'm saying? And like you be charging me up. Like, this motherfucker was drunk on her birthday, like, just telling me, know your worth, like, hand to the chest, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, but even but even you, bro, like, just watching you, like, actually go after it, like, that's one of the things, like, I always, like, used to be envious about you. I'm like, man, like, this nigga, like, he want to do it, he gonna go after it.
Facts.
And it's like, when you develop that mentality, like, even just something as simple as, like, doing this, you know what I'm saying, and like me, like, keeping you accountable in terms of, like, okay, we gonna make sure we go in the studio. Shout out, well, let's go get these sponsors. Da. It's like you when you overthink it, you don't do it.
Yeah,
facts.
That's true.
You
talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, you be so deep in your head, you be like, nah. Hey, but shout out to you, because the other day I was when we was with each other the other day, you was like, I said something and I was down on myself, and you was like, you a boy, don't ever think like that. And I was like, yeah, shout out. I was like, yeah.
Well, I usually say that with a motherfucker out there and their promise with a woman, but yeah, but I apply that with other things.
No, just in general. I was thinking about it the other day when I was writing. I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I feel like this is, and I was just remember, like, you a boy. I'm like, yeah, I am a boy.
You got that shit, bro. Don't ever sweat that shit, bro. Now, like, like, even just something as simple as like we were like at a softball league like over the summer, and like me just hitting up people like last minute, like day of, like, hey man, come join the team. It was people that ended up being on the team for the remainder. But even just doing stuff like that, I just would overthink it, because it's just like, man, like, they don't rock with me like that. Why would they pull up on me like day of? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was never that person. You know what I'm saying? I was very like introverted in a way. So like,
hey, that was a funny experience. Shout out, Sid. That was a great.
Shout out to my boy S.Pro. Shout out to TYTs. He just opened a t-shirt shop on 79th in Indiana. So,
hey, that helped during this pandemic, man. Like, us going out there to play softball and just take our minds off like everything.
Nah, for sure.
That was a beautiful thing.
For sure. Let me make sure I'm TYTs 79th in Indiana. It's 211 half East 79th Street. But just go on 79th and just ride down. You be by Indiana. You'll find it. But so shout out him.
I know where that's at. Okay.
Yeah, shout out him. But yeah, man, yeah, for sure. Like it's all about bringing that on inspiration. Man, we starting to run down on time. Shawna, you have some meditation music you want to recommend for the people?
Yes. So scrolling through Instagram, I came across this artist named Londrell. I don't know if you guys have heard of him before. But his album is called Stay Free. And a lot of the times when you like meditate, you always hear, no offense, but it's always these, guided meditations by other ethnicities. So I was just, surprised to discover this album. And he also has other albums as well. But this one has been pretty amazing so far. It's called Stay Free. And it just sounds like rap as meditation. So like it's pretty interesting, and I would advise you all to listen to it.
Yeah, we'll post it in the podcast. We'll put it in the description so you guys can check it out. I'm always looking for dope, calming meditation music. I often struggle with listening to rap, like to focus, because it's like they telling me too much shit. Like I like shit, but that's like it's like mellow. They sing, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't gotta
be like, relax your mind, free your mind.
Gotcha. Quick. Shawna, plug everything you have. No. We'll have our guest plug everything he has, and then we'll plug the She's So Weird stuff.
Davron Boyd. Follow me, DAV_773. Follow my business page too, Boyd Creative Group. Semicolon Series, all of that stuff.
When should we be anticipating your book dropping?
Yeah, I'm excited about your books.
October or November of this year. The first book should be. I'm trying to figure out this book. I just gotta. I'm collaborating on somebody with, so it might come out beforehand. But my first personal book will be out this October, November, Lord willing. It's called Cry for Help, Poems Written in a Deep Depression. Might change the name of it, might not. It's just my testimony written through poems. Like when I was depressed, like the first thing that would get me out of my depression is writing. So it's a collection of poems of just like everything that I'd been through for like the past few years, like my pen to paper, my own little therapy session. It's also just like, I love it because I want this to be like, one, this is what came out of the pandemic. Two, this is like something dope that like a lot of people aren't doing. Like, it's just.
And the poems are dope. I've gotten a sneak peek, and just be looking for a foreword from somebody.
Oh, I got you.
From somebody you may know, you may or may not know him. You know what I'm saying?
Did you read the rough draft? No, you didn't, but it's fine. But yeah, so yeah.
No, yes, I have read the rough draft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right, we'll discuss.
No, I'm tapped there. It's good.
Yeah, but that's coming soon. This other book, just stay tuned. I got a lot of great things. I got a dope visual coming on Juneteenth that I'm making everybody wait for.
Ooh. Shout out to Juneteenth last year. It was busting.
Super busting.
So I got something coming Juneteenth. But appreciate y'all having me, man. Like,
yeah. Shawna, plug your stuff real quick.
Okay, I just was pulling my stuff in right now. So she's so weird.com, period. That's point blank. You go to that and check us out. Shawna Weird XO, that's how you find me on everything. ChannaWeirdXO. So yeah. Also, I will be DJing at the Hoaxton on the 19th. It's 208 North Green Street.
Okay.
So yeah.
Y'all come slide on. Listen, we sliding out of the pandemic slightly. You know what I'm saying? Come slide on my girl.
I will have my mask on, y'all.
Yes, please wear your mask.
Yeah, word indeed. If you want to find me on Twitter for thoughts, is Sir D Boyd. For my Instagram photography related things, Shots by Sir D Boyd. That's you can find that on Instagram. If you want to book me, just holler at me. My email in my bio, I believe. But if it's not, just DM me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll get on your ass about that.
Yeah. Shawna, close us out.
Thank you for rocking with us. I appreciate you guys.
This is She's So Weird podcast.
Shout out to Gemini Jones.
Yes, ma'am. We motherfuckers say yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And we out. Appreciate you guys.
Out.